What happened during the Korean War? Throughout this presentation, you will be provided context and the task through which you are to work. Please use the pause option to stop the film wherever appropriate. Your aims are to gain an understanding of the key events of the Korean War and to consider and highlight the key areas of controversy within the Korean War. Trigger event, 25th of June 1950. On June the 25th, 1950, the North Korean People's Army invaded the South in an attempt to unify the country under Kim Il-sung. North Korean radio suggested that the invasion was a response to a major southern offensive. At the time, this was not doubted by the West due to the ongoing tension between the two countries. By the 26th, however, it was clear that this suggestion was untrue, and the West called for a rapid response and offensive against the North. Timeline of events in Korea. In 1945, Korea was controlled by the Japanese. By the end of the war, though, the Soviets occupied the North and the Americans the South. The two halves were divided arbitrarily along the 38th parallel of latitude. In 1947, elections held in the South supported by the United States. By this time, the North had its own government, backed by the Soviets. Each government claimed to be the rightful ruler of the Korean peninsula, and each side was supported by their respective superpower, even though both sides had withdrawn their troops effectively by 1948. In 1949, China becomes communist. They support North Korea. In 1950, the North invade the South. September 1950, United Nations troops are invading North Korea by landing troops at Incheon. The North Koreans are pushed back deeper into North Korea, and in October 1950, the Chinese invade North Korea. UN troops are pushed back to South Korea. In 1950 to 51, stalemate sets in around the 38th parallel. In April 1951, General MacArthur is removed from position and replaced by General Omar Bradley. The fighting continues until 1952. In 1952, Truman is replaced by Eisenhower as president. In 1953, Stalin dies, and in July 1953, an armistice is signed between North and South Korea. Your task, using the double-sided A3 sheet or the maps available in your booklet, are to make detailed notes around each map on the 4 stages of the Korean War. You will need to include dates, roles of individuals, suppliers of weapons, changes in policy, and wider contextual links to the Cold War. Your teacher will provide you with additional resources if required. From here on in, you are advised to read and pause where appropriate. Pause now. Pause now. Pause now. Pause now. What do you think are the key areas of controversy in the Korean War? Please consider the following points. What role did the UN play in the war? Or was it America's war? What was the role of General MacArthur, and why was he sacked? Why did the Chinese become involved in the Korean War? Was the change in US policy a mistake? Why did peace take so long to be decided when talks began in 1951?